So it's starting recording. Okay, so hi everybody. This is Attorney Davis. I'm the managing attorney of Davis Legal Center, and I'll allow Attorney Chase to introduce herself.
Hello everyone, my name is Attorney Lindsay Chase, and I'm the managing partner at the law offices of Zerpoli Chase.
And I believe the information, if you want to contact Attorney Chase, her information should be scrolling just like last time. So listen, our 2024 ended out with a really big bang. And thankfully, we were able to get our schedules to align. And so we wanted to do this whole deconstruction of the verdict. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about how immigration and criminal law sometimes intersect quite a bit. But we are not, I don't do immigration work like at all.
Neither do I.
Yeah, so it's not intended for that. It's just to kind of show you where some of the intersections lie. So first things first, let's hop into it. So what are some suggestions that you think that you would give for a non-U.S. citizen that has a criminal case or that has been arrested?
I think it's really important to make sure that not only does a non-U.S. citizen have an immigration attorney, but also the criminal attorney that the suspect hires needs to have some understanding of immigration law, because a lot of decisions that you make in the criminal case are going to impact that client's immigration status. So it's really key that the criminal attorney does have a background in immigration. I know that according to the U.S. Supreme Court case Padilla, we have an obligation to advise about immigration consequences, but it goes further than that because the law is so fluid, especially next week. It's going to be quite interesting with the new administration that, clients really need to be careful about resolving their case, because once they resolve a case and if they accept a plea offer, that's it. So, it's really important because there's no turning back, and there's no buyer's remorse when a client resolves a case and it could result in immigration consequences. They may be deported.
I totally agree. And the only other thing that I wanted to add was to make sure that you amplify that if you have been arrested before, and you consult with a criminal defense attorney first, or a public defender, whoever is representing you in whatever capacity. I think it is really incumbent on that person to be very truthful from the beginning with regard to their immigration status. We do have an attorney-client privilege, so I can't really overemphasize that enough, because I get a lot of clients from like Jamaica or Haiti that I would never suspect, right? Until like we're getting ready to take a plea. I'm like, wait a minute. So I've started asking people up front now, like, what's your immigration status? And although I don't do immigration, I work with other immigration attorneys, and I immediately refer them to, but I think to your point, Attorney Chase, it goes beyond that, because there's so many, and we don't know what lies ahead with the new administration. So so the main thing is to be honest with your attorney about your immigration status, and to also get an attorney that does both, or like is working in tandem with both. I would almost say that does both too, to your point as well.
Well, I also think it's important because a lot of clients don't even know their immigration status. So it's key to actually know what your status is too.
I didn't think about that. That's an excellent point. A lot of people, we have a lot of TPS people here in South Florida. You're so right. Yeah. So even, and listen, even if you don't know, just say, listen, I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. To your point, you need to be truthful.
You got to be truthful.
Yeah.
I know we're tight on time. So let's get into this verdict that we got. And again, even though this client's case is closed out, we're not going to mention any names about it or whatever, but this is what prompted us to kind of hop on here and do this live. Let's talk about this verdict. I mean, we didn't even get to verdict, right?
So exactly. So I think that's why we really wanted to make sure that we had this discussion, because it's such a unique, to an extent, a unique issue where we got the charges dismissed through a JOA, which is a judgment of acquittal. So the state presented their case. We had no case to present. So we did a second JOA, and the judge granted it. And I know you and I were like shocked. I've actually never had a JOA granted before this case, but essentially a JOA is when the state can't meet the burden of proof. And the judge is like, this is not even going to the jury. This is something that can be resolved with me. State, you didn't meet your burden, and the case is dismissed.
Absolutely. This is my second JOA, but what I will say is it's very difficult. And I want it, because see, I don't want nobody misconstruing what you said when you said you never had a JOA granted. That does not go to any of your expertise, your professionalism, your competence, anything like that. What she's saying really is that these things never get granted, ever. Ever.
We always move for a JOA, but like typically, and I'm sure you would agree with this statement, that like you're going to trial because the case, it's not a bad case. There's definitely a strong case per se for the state to go forward or the government to go forward. So that's why you're there to begin with. So typically you shouldn't be going to trial on a weak case that the state can't prove.
Correct. And so let's talk about, maybe with the last couple minutes that we have left, just some of the things that worked for his case, because there were a lot of unknowns. He had an excellent deal. The deal would have freed him had he not had immigration consequences. What, in your opinion, with the couple minutes that we have left, were the things that worked for him in this particular situation? The first thing I'm thinking of is the fact that he exercised his right to remain silent. Like
100%. Like that is key. Like if you start talking, your case is only getting worse. Like I tell all my clients, there's nothing good that comes from you speaking to authorities. Nothing good can come from that.
And he never wavered. He never, I mean, it was right away. So that the state had no statement. To me, that is what worked like chef's kiss. I don't know if you had something else that you took away, like deconstructing this case that worked.
Well, it's not what worked, but more like what was in our favor, which was the lack of investigation by the police. That it really was a crummy police investigation. They didn't collect any DNA, no fingerprints, and the jury doesn't like that. The jury doesn't like when there's no CSI component to it. And I think that really helped us as well, because the police didn't do their job, it made it a lot harder for the state to prove their case. But of course, you and I believed that they were going to be able to prove their case through one witness who knew our client. But unfortunately, the state didn't ask the right questions, so they didn't get the right answers. And that was what helped us. I guess really the key, and this was your strategy, was not asking too many questions. You have to know where the line is in the sand. And that's why it's so important to have a good defense attorney that is able to use a strategy in a trial case and go forward with that strategy, because it was because of your techniques that the state wasn't able to prove their case.
And I'll also say, honey, you are, I mean, I don't want to cuss, but you are the bomb. So very, very well together. And I'm so grateful that you got on, because baby, we didn't listen.
I know. That was wild, but I'm glad it was a win. It was a win, and we're so thankful for the outcome, what happened with the client. And we're a great team, and I look forward to more cases together.
Me too. You want to go ahead and plug your info? I know you're running short for time, so go ahead and plug your info. And this is our second episode. Hopefully we have more of Deconstruct.
Yes, of course. So like I said, I'm attorney Lindsay Chase, and our office line is 954-737-0820. And you can find us on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Lawyer to Warrior. So I look forward for people connecting with me.
Absolutely. And I'll make sure that her information is in the banner. Again, I stand behind her 100%. I love her personally, professionally. I think she's an excellent attorney. You're in good hands if you go with her. Our office information will be in the banner as well. We thank you so much for tuning in, and maybe we'll have some more deconstructions.
Exactly. Have a great day, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Bye. Happy New Year, everybody.